Hey guys, welcome to Great and Gather Barbecue. Today we're doing something that is just a favorite, I feel like, or it's going to be a favorite. I've never cooked it, but I think people are gonna love this. We're gonna do pork belly burnt ends. So when you think of burnt ends, you think of like a brisket burnt end. This is kind of a little bit different. You're using full pork belly, unsliced, uncured, everything. So Costco is where I got this one. I don't have a membership, but I had a friend that had a membership, so I'm thankful for a friend that was like, hey, I can get the pork belly for you. So find a friend, but Costco is a pretty readily available place. They had quite a few of them. And today what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut them in 1-inch cubes by 1-inch cubes. So you just take this big old huge pile. We got a ton of people coming over. Tonight is actually the Super Bowl. I know that's not when this is airing, but so I thought, hey, well, let's do something that I've never done, but it's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna season them with, since there's gonna be so many different cubes, I'm gonna do 4 or 5 different styles of flavor for burn ends. So that way different people can have different flavors. But basically what we're gonna do is just start slicing this right down the middle. Get yourself a real nice sharp knife, 1-inch cubes, 1-inch strips, and then you'll just come back and start cubing them 1 inch by 1 inch. You want them kind of big, because think about bacon. What happens to bacon when you throw it on like a griddle or something? It starts to shrink a lot because there is so much fat in here. This is not a healthy dish tonight. So don't, if you're like trying to watch your weight, you probably shouldn't eat pork belly burn ends. But basically you want them 1 by 1, and then they'll end up actually probably half of that size because all that fat's gonna render out. We're gonna cook it at 275 degrees today for about an hour. I'm gonna check it, and then we will kind of just keep checking them, and I'll talk more about that after I get some more of these cut up. So that's how you're gonna cut your strips, and then you basically will just go every inch and just cut down. So I'm going to check back in. A lot of fat on this one, but fat is delicious. So I'll come back, we'll come back after these are all cut up. All right, guys, so I got them all cut up 1 by 1, and there's a ton of them. So we're gonna do 4 different flavors, actually, since we have so many different people coming. So I'm just gonna show you what I'm gonna do with one of them, and then it will be after I bring them back off, or check on them when you guys get to see again. But basically, being that they're cubed, you can get seasoning on all 4 sides rather than just maybe one side. So this one's gonna be the Gospel by the Meat Church, kind of an all-purpose. So this will be the one that the person that doesn't really care for heat or too sweet, this will kind of be that person. But just kind of get some rub on them. I'm gonna probably run out of this stuff, it's that good, and I'm at the end of it. And being pork, it can hold quite a bit of seasoning, and then kind of just, get them to where, flipped over to where they're not seasoned anymore, and start seasoning the rest of them. So it's a tedious task, but it will be worth it in the long run. And you just want to keep seasoning so you can get seasoning on pretty much all 4 sides. And then we're going to put them in 270 degrees is what the Pits and Spits is warmed up to. And about an hour and a half in, I'm going to check them, but we want them probe tender. Not really a temperature. The temperature would be in the 2-ish range, 200, 205, but we're going to be looking for probe tender. So I'm going to get the rest of these all seasoned up. I'm going to put them on the grill, which is going to take a minute because there's like 100 of them here. So, and then we will show you guys in the hour and a half in when we're probing it. So see you guys later. All right, guys, so it's been about 2 hours. I just want to check it with the thermal pin. Remember, these aren't really to temperature. I do have a temp probe in one just because I was curious to see. It's around 200 degrees right now. But remember, we're thinking like a hot knife through butter is where we're at. And it's been about 2 hours. So you don't even really need to look at the temp. And you can just, it is just falling through. That one has a little bit more pull, but most of them, that have most of the fat on them are just going right through. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna bring them all in, which will be a tedious process, but put them all in the pans, and then we're gonna sauce them. So we'll kind of show you what we're using for sauces, and then it's gonna go back in for about 40 minutes. So we'll see you inside. All right, guys, we got them all off the smoker. Now what we're gonna do is glaze them, and then they're gonna go back on for another half hour to 45 minutes or so, just really to get in the glaze, caramelize, and all that kind of stuff. We're keeping the grill at 275 degrees. So I'm gonna use these are the ones that had the Holy Voodoo from the Meat Church, which is a little bit more spicier of a rub. It's got some jalapeno in it. So I'm gonna use a rib glaze. This is from Cosmos. It's the cherry apple habanero. It's a real thin sauce. So that's kind of what you want to do. Most of these glazes are saucing them. It's more of a thinner sauce. So I'm probably gonna have to even use some of this to cut down some of our like original barbecue sauces. We're gonna toss them in just to make it a little thinner. So basically I'm just gonna open it up, pour some in there, and then just toss it in. Might add just a little bit of the sweet smoke barbecue sauce just to kind of get a little bit of that barbecue kind of flavor in there. And we're just going to keep these right in the pans, actually. I'm not going to put them back into on the grates individually. They're just going to stay in these pans and just caramelize and get back to kind of that, you know, chunky. They'll shrink up just a little bit more. But yeah, so I'm going to get the rest of these done, and then we'll show you the end product here in about 45 minutes. So see you later.
All right, so I'm not sure what happened to my audio in my last frame, so I'll show you guys just a view of what the finished product was. They turned out delicious. These are very rich. I could only eat 4 or 5 of them, and it was a lot because of all the fat and all the sauce, and but they turned out great. So get some pork belly, try some burnt ends. You can do this.